Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Coffee Talk. Today is another very exciting. I'm still giggling at one of my questions I have prepared. I can't lie. Hopefully, it's as funny as it is in my brain. We are back with another Get to Know Your Spirit Coffee Talk hosts. So, this is our final installment of our interviews, and we are interviewing the wonderful and lovely Ginette Biro. Welcome. Round of applause. So if you haven't seen the other ones, would encourage you to go back and watch the other two from that series. But we are just asking all sorts of random questions related to spirit, related to who you are as a human meat suit on this planet, just to get to know you
Every
a
time
little
you
bit
say
better.
that, Elyse, the meat suit thing, I just am like, oh.
Sorry.
It's such a vulgar, like my meat suit. I'm like, oh, I think
That's
of
what it is.
I know, but I think of what's her name? That literally wore the meat suit. That's why I like to a visual thinker.
Lady Gaga.
Lady
Dress.
Gaga
She
back
wore
in the
a
day.
meat suit?
When she showed
wore
up
like
at
a steak
awards,
dress.
she wore
It was like
actual meat, like raw
Fair.
meat.
Oh, no wonder.
I know.
fair.
And that's
Didn't
why
have that connection point.
It's a visual for me when you say that every time. I'm like,
Did you imagine how much that would smell?
Oh,
it would
God,
be
I know.
disgusting. And the energy coming from my little vegetarian self. I'm like, oh, so that's why every time I'm like,
I wonder if they like rotated
like
pieces out throughout the night just to like keep it like fresh. I don't know.
Probably
Anywho.
not.
Welcome.
That's a strong start.
Sorry, Ginette.
That was a chaotic start to this interview.
Beautiful lighting over here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to take away from your
All right.
interview.
It can only go up from here.
Yeah, right?
It can only go up from here.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will start us off. I think for me, I mean, a lot of us know some of your major spiritual experiences because you've done such a wonderful job of sharing it. So maybe I'm curious what your like very earliest memory of, ooh, spirit, ooh, energy, ooh, there's something else going on here. What's the like earliest you can remember?
Earliest I can remember is the one I have talked about, honestly. I think I was around 5 and I would know there was people in my room. I would know it. And it haunted me. It haunted me my whole life until I understood what was happening around 20. But yeah, I would go to bed at nighttime, even if I kind of psyched myself up to go to bed, like, I'm okay, I'm safe, mom and dad are here, I would lay in bed and then I would feel the energy show up in my room. And I couldn't see spirits yet at that age, but I could feel them. And I remember it terrorized me because I had nobody to tell me it was okay or what it was. Yeah. It was just like, Ginette, you have an active imagination, go to bed. And it's not like they weren't being rude about it. Like, that's just what they knew. Right. And so that was vivid for me. I just knew there were people, and not just one, not like a boogeyman in the corner, but like several in my room staring at me. And so I would sleep at nighttime with my head totally covered and just a little breathing hole until I fell asleep. And that was a lot of how I went to bed every night as a kid, unless I was so incredibly exhausted that I could just fall asleep.
Yeah. I feel like that's almost more unnerving than like seeing a spirit, because it's a sensation. So like, how do you verbalize? And, you know, even if you go to like pop culture, it's nothing is like, ooh, I feel it. It's always seeing. So for me, my brain almost goes to like, gosh, that would be even harder in some respects, because it's like, how do you rationalize?
And you don't know what to do with it because you're a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
No. And, you know, which is why, and we talked about this on the Halloween episode, but which is why I cannot handle the suspenseful parts in movies when you don't know what's around the corner or what is about to appear, because it's visceral for me that I remember that feeling. Although they were never bad spirits, they were my counsel, they were loving, they were keeping an eye on me. I didn't know that at the time.
I was going to ask if they ever came like now and were like, hey, that was us. So sorry to scare you. Do you know who it was?
Totally. It was them. And they're like, we just were keeping an eye on you at nighttime. You were precious cargo to us, as we all are to our council, right? So I could just feel it. And But it just terrified me. And I'm sure they were trying to be like, don't worry, it's okay. But I was
You're like,
already in the
"Ugh."
fear mode. So yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm going to kind of move from that in the sense that because first of all, if you haven't read Ginette's book, you got to read it because she goes through so much of her experience about your NDE. And so I want to just talk a little bit about the NDE. How have you seen or felt difference, change, or expansion since your NDE? Like the years since.
Yeah.
How has that changed your spiritual experience, your physical experience?
So, oh gosh, in so many ways. I think since being there so consciously and bringing that knowledge back with me, I really look at things that used to trigger me in very different ways. So, for example, the random thought that I think is quite common for many of us to have of like, why am I on this planet? Like, why did I decide to come back here? This is crazy, right? I would have never chosen this. Like that kind of thought. I can't have that anymore. Like I can't have that thought because I already went there and I knew how much I desired to come back and honored and loved this lifetime for all of the highs and lows in it. I can't even entertain that thought anymore. So I don't have that outlet to diffuse frustration of why am I here? It's like, I know I'm here for a reason. I came back here. So don't run that little run there. Just what are you going to do about it now? And so I find so much more conscious choice has been brought back into my life. And that's not always an easy thing, but so I carry so much more personal responsibility about how I feel. If I don't like something, what do I want to do about it? If I don't like a certain relationship and how it's working, how can I use my voice to change it? Because so much of the responsibility is on me because I'm the co-creator. And that's easier said than done. Definitely sometimes it is easy, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But
so
on the other,
do you think it's left you more peaceful in your human experience then?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Even in the tough stuff, because I remember what the other side is like. So it's not this great unknown.
Yeah.
That maybe the grass is greener there. And trust me, it's beautiful and harmonious and stunning and peaceful and all of the things we would imagine. But there's so much value to this life right now. And so I wouldn't want to rush that or give that up yet.
So, and then has it changed your spiritual connection, your spiritual path? Have you seen a change in trajectory since your NDE spiritually then too?
Yeah, definitely. Before I was really happy being a medium and doing readings, and that is still a great thing. But I was happy to kind of fly under the radar doing that. Whereas after the NDE, it was like, I have to share the things that I know. And so not only just my experience there, but since the NDE, I've had such a greater opening in my connection to spirit. Like I feel I can go farther. I can channel deeper. The reach is bigger, and the kind of understandings that I can bring down and then put into words even surprises me. Like even there's times where I'll bring through channel and I'm like, whoa, like that's amazing. And that wasn't me. And so I find because of that, it's shifted for me into just continually sharing what I know versus the readings alone. Like it's like next level, which is why I started the podcast and so on and so forth.
Very cool.
I love that. I love that
too.
Yeah. What would you say? I'll give you kind of 2 words to choose from. Is like your favorite or funniest spirit experience, where you're like, that was ridiculous, or it made me laugh, or it was like brought me so much joy and laughter.
Oh my gosh, that's a great question.
That is a great question.
There's so many. There's many times where like I've heard my guides laughing so hard at me for something I'm fumbling through or struggling to do. And if I just surrendered, I would be fine. It's like trying to carry all the grocery bags in at once and the bags are breaking, but I refuse to put them down. and there's people watching, they're just laughing, right? So it's never laughing at me in like a put down, but just this communal laughter. So there's always that. But I think in my experience, the funniest is when sometimes in a mediumship session and I bring through a certain spirit who has such a character, and I find I use the words they use, and sometimes I'm like,
they're like swear words, like
yeah,
super vulgar.
I know. I'm like, I'm going to bring through exactly what I'm hearing them saying. And these are not my words, but this is what it is. And I will, like a trucker mouth, say this whole sentence or two. And I'm saying it. I'm like, does that make sense to you? And the person just laughs. They're like, oh my God, that is totally Uncle so-and-so, right? Like
That's so
those
funny.
make me laugh so much, because we often have this idea, maybe just as it's like a general statement, but we have this idea that in spirit, everything is peaceful. And it's always like, we would never use words like that, but spirits want to bring through who they are. And sometimes who they are is a trucker mouth full of color.
Yeah.
It is so funny. It makes me laugh so much. So I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that too. Okay, I want to get into kind of star systems and entities that you communicate with. So do you find yourself associating in with a certain star system or a certain I want to say like galactic family, or where is it that you would call home in that kind of cosmic way? And are they the ones that come through most, or like who is it that you kind of work with the most cosmically?
Oh my gosh, such a colorful question. So, to start with, who do I connect with most, like feel a stronger lineage to from myself, would be the Syrians from the Sirius star system. I feel very connected to them. Like there's a soul home frequency there. And I think I've spent much time there. I also feel very connected to the Pleiadians. I think I've had some time there, but not as much as the Syrians. I do have guides from both of those places, but since my NDE as well, the galactic connection that I have has just continued to grow. And so on my council, I have Pleiadians, I have half angel, half fairies, so to speak. I have one who is completely galactic, and I don't even know his origin because he's not even Pleiades star system or the Sirius star system. He's galactic level. I don't know.
He's a just light. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a Lyran and I have a Mantis being. Mantises are so interesting to talk to. And that's like, that challenges the brain when you come across those at first. So I think it is very multinational in the galactic network and who I connect with.
Do you ever go into like kind of like a galactic community and talk to all of them, like bring through like kind of like a meeting?
I have a couple times. There's a couple times where I have proposed a meeting with them to give them some insights of what I see happening on the planet. And in those meetings, I will be really stern. Like people, it's funny because people often see me as like really soft-spoken and gentle, but there's also this like fiery, like, here is a boundary part in me. And maybe when I speak it, it still sounds really nice, but inside I'm like, here's my warrior armor and my boundary, and like, and so there's a couple times where I've had those meetings where I have laid it out very sternly. And it's been really well received. Like what I find in connecting with that galactic network, whether it be the Galactic Federation, there are many galactic federations as well, but they want to be in communication with those on Earth. They need the intel of those on Earth. So there's many people that hold that position as well. And same with both of you, you've had opportunities like, so yeah, there are many different ones I communicate with.
Can you feel, because I know that some of us visualize it more of like you showing up as Ginette and looking and seeing a Syrian and then seeing a Pleiadian, but it's more of an energetic feel. Hey, like they hold a different frequency.
They definitely do hold a different frequency, but I also tend to get strong visuals too.
Yeah.
So like I will know who I'm talking to because I'm seeing them.
Right.
But I'm seeing them in my mind's eye. So I'm not,
of course.
Well, I'm not usually seeing them. I would say like 75% of the time I'm seeing it in my mind's eye in a meditative state. There are times though where I have had my Mantis being guide. She's beautiful. But I'm getting into my car and she's like popping out, looking over the hood, checking in on me. I'm like, hey, right. And I see it, or I've seen Hathors sitting in the back of my car while I'm driving and they just pop in singing so loud to get my attention and they find it funny. So my reality is very different from other people's. But I think since my NDE, that became normal, because I think before my NDE, I would have tried to compartmentalize things. Yeah.
Do you find the Mantis being so like buggy? I like when you were like, they just pop out. I'm like, that's how I always see them. They're like, hello. And they're just so in your face. And you're like, holy,
they're like,
hello.
Yeah. But
a little pokey arm, like,
they are like, so they can be so funny.
They're great. I know.
They're so funny, but they have no facial expression, but telepathically they are so funny, so caring.
So
they can
kind.
Be so caring and kind. Like it's
gentle.
I know. Yeah. It really messes with your mind at first.
Yeah. Cause you're like, holy. And then it's like, oh, okay,
but
you're cool.
They
but
carry such a strong vibration of kindness that it's like, even when you're like, whoa, but it's like almost an instantaneous comfort and like, well, of course I'm talking to a giant mantis right now, right? Like
tracks.
Of course.
Hands up.
Right?
Definitely.
Like that.
Yeah.
Where some of the other beings, like I had to kind of get a bit used to some, especially some, but like the mantis I find is overwhelmingly kind. Yeah.
See, and I had the hardest time with the Mantis at first.
Really?
Yeah. When they first came through, I was like, arm's length, like stay there, please, because I can't wrap my mind around this.
Right.
And then over time, especially the ones that I know.
Yeah.
Now it's not a big deal at all. It's comforting and I love it. But yeah, I had the hardest time with them.
Do you think the mantis energy brings through a certain, like when you see the mantis, that like you associate it with a certain type of message, or like, oh, when the mantis shows up, that's generally meaning this energy is around, or I'm to focus in on this? Or do you think it's just like a general, like you would receive from your Pleiadian council? Because I always feel like when a mantis comes in versus my Pleiadian versus whatever these little guys are called, they're very different messages coming through.
Yeah, that's a great question. I never thought about it, but yeah, when the mantis is here, it's usually for me specifically in regards to my physical health. Yeah, they're usually checking in on my physical health, and there's a couple times where they've come in to help rearrange some stuff energetically while I'm in a meditation or things like that. So yeah, good thought. I hadn't really thought of that. I can call on them anytime, but when they show up first, like when they come to me, is usually because there's something out of whack with my energy somehow, and they're like, let's just reboot and this and this and this.
let's do
Oh my gosh.
Funny.
Yep.
I love fly on the wall of some of the things that happen in your day to day. So this could be from galactic experiences, could be from really any sort of spirit experience, but I'm curious, and it's a big question, so sorry. What do you feel like has been, especially kind of pre-spirituality, we'll say, right? Those kind of, middle years where you knew there was stuff, but you kind of shut it down until you were in your 20s, to now knowing all the things you know and having had all the experience that you've had, what do you feel like is the biggest? And I know there's probably many, but the biggest, or maybe even the most present right now for you, perspective shift around being human and our experience here? Like, is there one thing that if you were like, I know it's a big question, and so it might not be the biggest or like the best, but maybe what just comes up first as like, what's the big perspective shift that you would want to share right now?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what it is how, so this came when I was on the other side and I was standing, and it's so vivid in my mind. I was standing talking to my higher self, and my higher self showed itself as me talking to me. So my higher self looked identical to me, but I knew it was my higher self. I also at the same time was my higher self looking at me.
Ooh.
And I was both. I was in the consciousness of both, and it made total sense. It wasn't weird. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, ooh, brain can't function. It was a
Right.
beautiful conversation between me and me.
Mhm.
The me here, and the me there. And when I saw how much my higher self loved this incarnation, even after everything I'd been through, loved it, was in awe. And it wasn't like, oh my God, this is amazing, but like it was in awe and like reverence for the journey. This was so pivotal because I realized how much the highs and the lows of being human is what matters. I realized how we are not here to be human and be perfect. We are here to be imperfectly human and grow from it, including times when we need to say, I'm so sorry, I didn't understand, or I didn't speak clearly. And the times where we say, I need to set a boundary here, this is no longer allowed. Or the times where we surrender and we're like, God, source, universe, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm at your mercy. Or the times where we're like, you know what? I'm going to just throw all of this to the wind. I'm going out tonight. I'm going to have so much fun, dancing, yada, yada, yada. Like all of that makes us human. And to think that it should be just one way or another, I think we're missing out on like the full meal that it is, and just staying on the appetizer or something like that. And so when I saw the beauty of that from a higher self, that radically changed me. So that even when I'm in the dark moments or the anxiety moments or whatever, it's like, well, this is all a part of it. And this density and this darkness I feel is not going to last because I'm learning something out of it. And I might not know it yet, but I'm going to get something out of it. And those are the things that matter.
I love that.
I love that.
Okay. This is my last big question. Kind of tuning in. No, this isn't my last question. Kind of tuning in. Do you see that you have had many or some incarnations on Earth before this? And do you think you will come back again to Earth?
Oh, interesting. Incarnations before, yes. There are several ones that I know of. Some that I was connected to my children in certain ways. Some that I know I was connected to other people. I have some back in like, maybe, I don't know quite the time, but I even resonate with timelines from like Neanderthal times. Like I can go that far back to like a resonance of that. I remember learning about it in school and I was like, I remember that. And it made no sense to me at the time, all the way to different eras that we know of. So, I mean, I think I've been here many, many times, to be honest. I think I've also spent many times off planet, but Earth is not foreign to me. Yeah, it isn't foreign.
Do you think you'll come back or do you think this is your last?
Now, that's a good question. So human me, Ginette right here, would think probably not coming back. When I think of how much joy my higher self has for the human experience, I wouldn't be surprised if I came back again in a role to help people again, somehow.
Maybe you'll come back to enjoy the Earth after it has been kind of shifted.
Yeah.
And you will come back at the rise of the feminine again and enjoy that energy afterwards.
In like a golden age. Yeah, maybe it totally will. The more I grow and ascend in this journey, the more I think I would probably come back.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's intense. It's intense. And
well,
I
you're
love the
killing
energy
it
over there. But
you're killing it this life. Way to go.
I tell ya, I don't know.
Okay, Lisa, do you want to ask your last question before we do rapid fire? Because I'm finny.
Okay. I want to see if you can tune in at all or whether you just want to have this as a human thing. But where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, 5 years? What is that? 2028. I just got so dizzy. Let me tune in on that one. Hold on.
I know. I'm like, what did we
not a
show
brain one.
Okay. Apparently greater ability to move between timelines. Like they're showing me literally walking through timelines. So more conscious awareness in each timeline. Very interesting. Greater understanding of the energetics and how they connect into the planet. And so I almost see like being able to
Levitate.
let's just use levitate. I don't think we're going to get that far, but like more magic. Like say I could go up to like what they're showing me is like, say there was a tree here and my hand is by the tree, like sparks and energy, like more communication, more magic. I don't know if that would be visual sparks
like
and
more,
energy, but like
more use of energy
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis.
like tangible for me.
As a power source. Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes.
Do you
And
see yourself speaking to large
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
more speaking.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, Elyse, rapid fire. You go first.
Okay. What's your favorite movie snack?
ooh, favorite movie snack? Chips, hard bite chips, regular.
Ooh, regular.
Regular,
Interesting.
like
love-
salted,
Salt and potatoes.
hard bite.
Hard bite
hard
needs
bite.
the good
No
crunch.
dip.
No dip. No, I'm really not a dip person
Okay.
unless it's tortilla chips.
Mm.
Different story.
Yeah, because it's salsa.
Then I want salsa and like guacamole.
Yeah.
and-
Oh, guacamole. So good.
Okay, so this is kind of the same thing, but what's your girl dinner?
My
Mm.
girl dinner.
go-to. Girl dinner go-to.
Girl dinner. That's a tough one.
Depends on the day.
It really depends on the day.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really, really does. Sometimes it would be French fries. Just want French
Mm.
fries. Other
Potatoes and
days,
salt.
I know potatoes and salt. I love potatoes. I love potatoes.
Oh, that's
so much.
amazing.
They make me so happy. They really do. Potatoes. If ever I'm sad,
Maybe
it's
that's your
either,
Avalonian life.
well,
right?
seriously, it's either like potatoes or chocolate cake. But chocolate cake, so here's a little tidbit info about me. I wrote about in my book that I love to eat apples in the shower, which I
Mhm.
really do. I do.
Yeah.
But even more so, like if I'm having a tough life moment, like a dark night moment, chocolate cake in the bath,
In the bath. I was
or
gonna say.
even chocolate cake in the shower, and I will put the shower running on my back so it doesn't hit the cake, and I will sit on the bottom of the bathtub and eat my chocolate cake in the shower,
Amazing.
and it fills my heart. I leave that shower like, okay, I can do this.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
you're the best. That is the best ever.
Cake.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
me and water, like French fries, cake, and water. Happy. I'm happy.
I'm gonna need
Okay.
you next Halloween to dress up as a potato, please. It can be a zombie potato if you need, but
Oh,
potato
perfect.
would be good.
Perfect.
Spudnik. Okay,
Yes.
go.
What is your favorite artist, like musical?
Musical artist. I thought you guys would ask me this, and all week I've been pondering this because I don't know how to answer that. I have so many. I go from old school Celine Dion, moves my heart and has ever since I was little.
Mm.
But then I totally can like really ethereal music that moves my heart. Then I like Bob Marley because that is
Yes.
soul music to me. Then I
Yeah.
like oldies. I like swing era music, Latin music. Like I really, I don't know.
Yeah. Fair.
I would just like to revolt that I was forced to pick a Taylor Swift song.
True. You were, right?
I have 7,000. Just kidding. Anyways,
That's
moving on.
true.
I accept your response. It's
Taylor
fine.
Swift is in my collection of artists, to be honest. I really like her stuff. Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite crystal to use right
Ooh.
now?
Ooh, right now?
Mhm.
Probably this Lemurian.
Lemurian.
Mm.
Yeah,
That
but
was
this
all
is
three
my
of us.
this is my channeling stone though, is serpentine. But this is like for reading and work. This is for me.
Love it.
Yeah. On that note, card deck that you're going to right now.
I have that down too.
Card deck. I'm going to probably this old school beauty that I've been using, The Wisdom of Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I really like this one. It's
Nice.
beautiful pictures, really like simple and clear. It's a great beginner deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Love
really
it.
well rounded too. Like it doesn't
is.
have one vibe over another. It's just kind of like all the things.
Yeah. It's like a good reset one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite goddess to work with right now?
Isis and Mary Magdalene.
Nice.
Isis is such a go-to for me though. Like she's always present with me. But Mary Magdalene has been very present.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Elyse?
Okay, so this is my last one.
Okay.
The one that I was giggling to myself about.
Giggling.
Okay. I wholeheartedly believe that when we like talk to our pets, we hear their voice and then we like have their dog voice. What is Maddie's dog voice?
Oh my God.
And
Totally.
please do it.
I can't do it. She's a Southern Belle.
Is she?
Yes. She has the drawl. She would be like, "Oh, honey." Like,
that's
I can't do it very
amazing.
well, but like that is her voice. It's sweet, it is kind, but it is Southern.
Oh, that's cute.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And I
love
don't
that
have
too.
anyone in my life who has that accent. So it's not like it's a theme in my life right now. It is completely her.
I
What about
love
your
that.
cat?
Oh, Kuma she's like Helen Mirren. Like that voice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
like she's
that.
to the point, and I swear sometimes she points her little claw at me, like you. And she's so wise though, like she's really sweet. But yeah, Helen Mirren for
I
sure.
love that.
Yeah, what is your pet's voices? Do you know?
Well, mine,
Yeah.
Bruno, is like my old Shih Tzu dog, and I always feel like he's like, "Mom, where's my food? What are we doing today?" Like that's like Bruno, like Eeyore, right? Bruno's Eeyore.
Totally. That's so
For
funny.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dexter's was the one I heard the most. It's like embedded in my brain. And it was like old man, like Walter Matthau style,
Oh, so
style
cute.
man.
Yeah.
Winston has this like kind of edgy, like neurotic voice to him that's like really kind of fast, but also like sweet.
Yeah.
And then Ava's is really like high pitched and tentative. Like, hi, are you mad? Am I okay? Can I be here? I'm hungry. Like it's that kind of
Aw.
vibe. Yeah,
That's so
her.
cute.
My Morgie, she has the feel like Alicia Silverstone from Clueless.
Ooh.
Oh, totally.
Like that is so
Totally.
Morgie. Like she's a lover, but she is like, oh, that is her to a T.
Love
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that.
Okay, Ginette,
Yes.
what is your, because I know you're a girl that likes her movies, all-time number one favorite movie of all time?
I think I'm gonna have to say Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Really?
I
thought
knew
you were
that's what
gonna
you're gonna
Avatar.
say. Ooh,
Avatar is Bree's absolute favorite. But like if we're talking all-time favorite, it would be Dirty Dancing.
Oh,
I mean,
such a
Notebook
good
is
one.
right up there.
I know,
Right
I love
up
Notebook.
there. It's right there. But I think Dirty Dancing takes it because of the dancing, and I am such a dance girl that
Yeah, for sure. Favorite book?
oh man, that's a hard one. Are we okay? Just favorite book, The Alchemist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever read The Red Tent?
Nope.
Ooh.
Okay, you have to read The Red Tent because we were all there.
Oh,
Like,
I haven't
read The
read that
Red
in
Tent.
so long. I
Yeah,
should read it
read
again.
it.
That's a good
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
who's
it's
the author? Do you know?
Marion, maybe. The Red Tent. It's
Okay.
like, I've read it like probably like 6 or 7 times. It's so good because I was there and you were there and you were there. I know it. So read
That
it
was a book
again.
too that I read like early before the woo-woo days. So I would be so curious to revisit it, in a spirity sense.
Yeah.
Because it was powerful then, let alone.
Okay, and this is the last one. Ginette, if you could tell your 20-year-old self something, what would it be?
Oh, God. I would say buckle up. You're in for a wild ride.
We all said like the exact same thing. I love
Seriously.
that.
I would say you have no idea what's coming. And you have no idea how much you're going to transform from the woman you are right now to the woman you will be at 41. But it is all going to be worth it. It will all be worth it. So just keep going.
And what do you think your 80-year-old self would tell your 41-year-old self?
Oh,
that's a good one too.
that's interesting you asked me because I could see it instantly. I could see my 80-year-old self with huge smile being like, this is the part of the story where it gets really good.
Mm.
Do you know what I saw your 80-year-old self telling your 41-year-old self?
What?
Just keep dancing.
Yeah. And that is totally like, I plan to still be competitively dancing
I see you dancing at 80.
until I leave this planet.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
why I see you like where you're still moving.
Yeah,
Just keep
totally.
dancing, girl. Oh, I got goosebumps.
And I love that.
Okay.
I love that as like a note for people because you didn't start dancing until just recently. So it's
You
like,
were a dancer
I was a
before.
dancer.
yeah,
So like,
but like in your adult years.
yeah. So I took like a 20-year break from dance
Mm-hmm.
and started back 5 years ago. Yeah. And started back so rusty. But now I feel like I'm so back in it. And it is like one of the greatest joys of my life.
I love
So much
that,
fun.
G.
So much fun. Yeah.
That's
And this
great.
year I get to do a duo with my daughter, like a
Yeah.
competitive duo with my 9-year-old daughter. And we have these matching costumes. And it is so much fun. It is like the joy of my
That is
existence
so
right now is when
cool.
we're dancing together. It is the coolest thing. And I never want it to end.
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh, I
amazing.
love that. I love that for both of you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all the tidbits.
Yeah.
So fun.
That was fun. I like that. That's
I'm sad
great.
this series is over. That we've.
I know, that was
it's such
really
a. Those are fun
fun.
ones to record. We should think of something along those lines again.
We
Yeah.
should take on alter egos and interview
Oh my
the alter
gosh.
ego.
My alter ego is from Boston.
Boston.
She is. She shows up for
Oh my
sure.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's funny.
I was gonna say too, we should open up maybe like a get to know your host version from our from our audience. And so we could do it all three of us and then take questions
yeah.
that they put forward. So now this is the final series of us creating the questions. So I would like to invite our viewers to send us a bunch of questions and then we could put it together in Q&A kind of for all of us.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Yeah.
I love that. Fabulous.
All
Well,
right.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us again. And yeah, like Lisa said, put any questions and we'll do a kind of third or fourth round rather with all of us together answering your questions for us. And we hope you have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Bye.
Bye.